Yo, what's up? How you doing? This is BB Plaza from the metal band Cryzix, and today I want to bring an episode in my channel in YouTube to help out the musicians out there that are starting their project, their own very own projects. And I received this message or this comment in YouTube. It was saying something like, it's not a good moment to start a band in 2025, and I couldn't be more in disagree. And I was telling this in my Instagram at BB Plaza that you can follow me there because I'm sharing all these things and these insights in my stories. That I was thinking that it's the best moment in history where a band from anywhere from the world, from Ukraine, from Russia, from China, from Kilimanjaro, from wherever place in the world, they have a chance. It's the first time in history that wherever you are from, you have a chance if you bring a kick-ass music and you present it correctly to the world. And this means to the physical world and to the digital world. And this, of course, you don't learn with 1 week, neither with 1 month, but with practice and constant practice. So today I was thinking this idea of let's bring this episode, this idea of how I would start a band in 2025 if I would start again. And I say if I would start again because if you don't know me already from my own band Cryzix, it's a metal band from Barcelona that we've been out there 18 years touring the whole world, and we released six studio albums. So this means that we eat a lot of shit. We also gain a lot of experiences that we are privileged. We played the biggest stages in the world, and I already have the experience, right? But let's say that if I would start from zero, without knowing nothing, and like, okay, what would be the basic thing that this can help from a band? If you are watching this and you are starting your own band, what would be the focus and the clarity where you should put your attention, okay? So, first of all, what I would do, if I were you, okay, I would study so much in detail the bands that are very relevant right now, and they are relevant to me, especially, the bands that are really bringing something to me, that really awaken something deep inside of me. I would study those bands, the lyrics, the riffs, the structures, the music, everything. And I would try to go very deep, and not just deep, but also try to widen the different genres that you are checking. I would really search for different bands, from pop music to electro, rap, and also, of course, metal. If you're here for Bring a Metal Music project, I would tell you that, yes, try to make it right. I don't know, everyone, this is very personal. It's about your own taste of music. And for example, when I started 18 years ago, I was very narrow-minded about just doing thrash metal. But I made sure back then, when I was 15, 16 years old, to really go deep in the catalog of thrash metal. I went to the 80s and the early albums from bands of the Bay Area, of New York, and then also from Europe, Creator. So I studied all the bands that were in this niche, and I really went really, really deep. And that's why I came out as a guitarist with a lot of ideas that they were really inspired by this feeling. Of course, we put it in the modern context because we were playing with many colors. But I remember that I really did this study, like this rigorous study. If like this was a university study, I did that, okay? So if I would do it now, I don't know if I would go that niche. I don't know, this depends on you. So I don't have anything to tell you. In my own case, I would tell you, study like very deeply, but also why I tell you to study different bands from other genres or other niches, because this will give you perspective of selling your band, your music, or your image with a different way that maybe that niche band or that niche genre that you're studying, maybe it's nothing new, So in the end, it's about what new thing you can bring in the market. Okay, let's think about this, okay? What new thing you can bring in the market that is relevant and brings interest? So for that, you will really need to reformulate and refresh some formulas. Let's say like this. And that's why you will need to play with different elements that will surprise the people. So in the end, think about this. Think about the band that you would love to hear and go to a show, but right now it doesn't exist. So maybe it's a mixture of this big band, but what lacks from this big band, you take it from another band, and the image, you take it from another band, and then you have this merge of a thing that you never saw before. If you have this feeling, you are going in the right direction, bro. Great, congratulations. Okay, so this would be the first step. Okay, what would be the next step? Good question. So the next step would be, of course, play those styles, start composing, creating music, and also trying to find people like you that can form a band. Okay. And I will be very serious with that. I will be very straight. This is not a play school game. Okay, when you're starting a band, it's a business. Okay, even that you're starting this out of joy and just enjoying and everything. But if you are aiming to play the biggest festival in your country, even that right now you see it very far away, you have to set up the professional boundaries in the beginning and really commit to something serious. Okay. And this doesn't mean that you don't have to make fun, to spend, have fun and enjoy with your friends, but it's a deeply inner commitment decision that you have to take, and the people like you should also do it, that you will put your focus and attention to make this baby grow, and let's see what it takes you, okay? So that's why I would take it like a job interview, like, okay, bro, if you are like trying to find people, okay, bro, how serious are you with this? How important is for you to have a band and like play and bring your music everywhere you can? And of course, everyone likes this feeling of playing shows up on the stage and be the attention of people, be seen, and people gives you likes and you have pictures to post, blah, blah. This is the superficial outcome of having a band. But you really have to see in the eyes of the person that you're hiring, let's say recruiting in your team. I'm talking like from the job interviewer. You have to see in the eyes of that person that is really, apart from all this outcome, is really passionate about expressing himself. Okay, this is very important, and only the eyes speak on their own. Okay. Anyway, even though when I would have this team of people that I would recruit from internet or from shows or bars around you, the scene where you are from, then I would put a hierarchy. I would put more like a hierarchy, like let's bring everyone the roles. Let's bring everyone a role in the band, okay? Because a band is like a big machinery. So everything has to move and has to have their own functionality. And if someone is not taking care of something, this is gonna turn into a problem, and we need people to take responsibility of their own shit. So this means that somebody has to take in charge. Somebody has to be in charge of, for example, delivering the merch. Another person has to be in charge of making designs. Another person has to be in charge of, be in charge in contact with the promoters to deal with shows. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so everyone has to take their own role, and it should be something that they like. Of course, there will be stuff that you will do with your band that you will not like, but try to set up roles, okay? And it's important. This is very important. If you have the vision of the band, or you and more or another person have a vision of the band, of the more in the management way, let's say that artistically and about musically, it's cool that all the band takes part of the creation of the painting of the album, let's say, of the music. But in terms of management decisions of what's going to be the best move business-wise speaking, it's something that not everybody is ready to be. It's in charge. It's a way that not everybody is happy to have on their shoulders, even that we think that it's equal, that everyone has a vote and everyone has an opinion. Of course, everyone has an opinion, but in the end, it should be somebody or one or two people maximum that should take the decisions. final decisions of what's the best management steps that the band has to take in the future. So, and this doesn't mean that they don't have to consult it with the rest of the band and all this, but it's important that this person, I would like to call it like the invisible leader, because in the end it's not like a leader, it's like the person who is having the vision. It would be cool that all the band is aware of who it is and who has this power, because all these things, trust me guys, will bring more and more clarity in the future, and it will solve a lot of problems, and the more defined the things are, the best for everyone. People needs organization, okay? Like any other business, any business needs organization, and the more you grow, the more organization it demand, okay? So it's important that you start all these roles. And once these roles are assigned, I would put a period of time where I make a test, a trial. Because maybe someone is saying, yeah, of course I will take care of this because I'm the best doing that. And then all of a sudden, in 2 months or 3 months, you see that this guy is not delivering on time, he's always late, he's not taking responsibility of his own mistakes, so cut, So that's why, cut, maybe fired, or maybe you have to talk again, but whatever. But I would put very clearly that there is a trial phase, a trial time, where you will all try all these things, and then you will reevaluate if this is the job that this person has to have, or maybe the band is something that is definitely not for that musician, and you have to look for another musician. But let's say that it's important to have a trial phase. So you see, in the action is when you see if the words match the actions, okay? All right, so once you have all this integrated, the band is integrated, and you pass this phase time of integration, and you have the band and the engineering and the machinery all perfect, and you're creating your own songs, I would put all the focus on playing shows. Even if you don't have your own music yet, or you just have 1 or 2 songs, I would play covers. Super important. Start with covers with the band, with the covers you like, so you get in tune. But also I would bring it in live as soon as possible, because you need to gain experience on the stage, talking to people, talking to the audience, interacting with your own, talking with promoters, dealing with the production of the shows. All these things is something that you really have to you need experience. So the fastest you get there, the best, because you wanna, in the moment that you release your first EP or first album, whatever you want to release, it's important that the band is already, everything is on top, on the level that you can possibly have, But it's important that you have already a little bit an audience from your local scene, that you already know how to make a show an entertaining show, and you are very well connected up on the stage, you play well the guitar or the instruments, each one of you. So it's important to have all this process done before the album is out, okay? Because everyone can really record music nowadays and can really make it sound edited and really very cool, but you have to defend it live, right, guys? Okay, because even that digitally you can prove that you are a good musician. Also, you have to, in the physical world, prove that you are a badass musician, a badass band. So once you have all this process done and you have your music recorded, what I would do, before I release the music, I would make sure that my structure, my digital structure, is fucking badass. What do I mean by that? I mean, the image of my socials are great. The content I already take from the previous shows, it's cool. I know how to make the videos, and everything looks like more or less like a pro band, even that we are starting, that we know what we are doing. The photo shoots that we are taking, everything that we are posting, it's on top. And also all the different platforms. So YouTube, it's prepared, Instagram, of course, Facebook, TikToks. And I will make sure that all this structure where people will dive once we post music, and the Spotify algorithm will bring us people and audience. Make sure that when the band comes into your structure, you're like, I like to see it like a house or like a building, your own house with the garden and everything. Everything is well, because it's like you're inviting guests to your house, to your yard first, then the inside of the house and everything. So you want to make sure that people see a beautiful house, a beautiful yard, and have a great experience in your home. Which means that, for example, if you post your new music on YouTube, it's cool that in your YouTube already you have some content, even if it's not music, but content that it's relevant and it's enjoyable, and also brings you closer to who you are as a band. So interviews or another kind of format, whatever you want to think about it, but something that it's not just music, but also they can meet the band. It's very important that people, when listen to music, they are able to meet the band personally, who you are, what are your values, what are your message. And this is one very important thing, that before you record anything or before you compose, this is maybe 2 steps before, but what is the message and the values of the band? This is something that I would really put a lot of attention, not just about the music. This is in the part where you're studying the references, the music, the bands and everything. What is the band that the message you're stating for? What is the message that represents your band, yourself? And what is the thing that you have to say to the world? And when I talk to my students, I always told them the same, that they should think about releasing an album, an EP, a song. It should be the same like releasing a book. A book, you don't just release a book that it's written. You release an idea. You release a title and a concept, right? You are very specific of one topic that you want to talk about, and you really know what you want to say with that topic. So with the music, it should be exactly the same, the EP. And this would surround all the EP, this message, and this will be a core message of the band. This is super, super, super important, because if people cannot remember you from this, they are not there just for the music. They have to be there for the message. They have to connect with all these things, and also they have to connect with you as a human being. That's why, returning back to the topic, I would make sure that my platforms, my structure, my house allows people, when they come in, that they can meet me, they can see that everything is beautiful, everything is cool, and they can spend time and dig more and meet me more. So the level of awareness from people that they just already discovered us quickly, they can go more close to who we are and be more friends to who we are. Because the more friends the listeners are to you, the more likely to buy they will be when you release music or when you announce a show. They will come to see you. That's very important, okay? Woo! As you see, there's a lot of stuff that when a band has to start, a lot of things that you have to deal and think about it, and a lot of little tiny things. And the more you grow, this doesn't stop, you have to learn more and more things, With Cryzix was exactly the same. When we started, I remember the first release we had, the first label release we had, the first album, it was a very difficult thing that I remember it brought a lot of tension and stress inside the band. And then the more albums we put out, the more we were understanding the game and understanding how things work. And it's just a phase of going through things, going through new challenges, learning. And also one thing that really helped me a lot, it was getting closer to people who could give me the guidance, the clarity, people with experience, with more vision, to really put me in the state of, okay, this is the direction, the correct direction, let's go 100% with it. When we work with management, or when I met people from the industry, or nowadays when I started my own project with Extreme Metal Picking, where I teach all the students about playing guitar, or also with their own bands in Extreme Metal Business. Let's say that I have the division Extreme Metal Picking for guitarists, Extreme Metal Business for the people who wants to learn for business and bands. In both things, I needed to understand and learn also a lot of things, how to develop my business in the digital world, which is the same for bands nowadays. And that's the what gave me a lot of clarity and growth. Fastest growth was to be closer and learn closer from people who were experts in the field in back then. So Yeah, the fastest you will grow, it's learning from people who already knows the information for sure. And that's why I like to be this role right now when people is getting in touch with me through DMs on Instagram and is asking me about their situations with the bands and everything. I am very happy to reply them and give them my perspective, my objective perspective, my intuitive vision about what should be their best move. But in the end, the answer is always something that you really know deep inside you, but you need just the guidance or the clarity to unlock it. So if you have any doubts, you have a band, you have your own project, man, you have my Instagram over here or over there. You just go in the link in the description of this video, you will find a link. You go there, you send me DM, you send me what's happening in your band, what's the struggle, and I would love to help you, okay, and give you all the help you need, okay? And also, by the way, it's very important this. I have a masterclass that I'm pretty sure is going to be very helpful for you to understand even more how the digital game works, which is so important for bands nowadays more and more to build an audience, okay? Because now to build an audience is not like before the digital and the internet era. Now building an audience, you have to do it physically, but super importantly in the digital, okay? And because I want to make you have to understand, guys, that a band now for a label, for an agency, if you want to be attractive for one of these key role players for your future development, you have to have an audience on the physical, but what will make you more magnetic and more desirable for these people is having an audience on internet, which is something that most bands are struggling right now because they are not really understanding 100% the game in internet. So if you're interested to understand it, I have a masterclass right in the description of this video. You have a free masterclass over there, and send me later in your comments, in the comments here or in my Instagram and DM, send me your feedback if it helped you. If not, this is something that helps me a lot. And I am very grateful that you're listening to this, guys. And I love to share all this knowledge and experiences to the newer generation. So I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.